Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Pam. New miscellaneous video dropped today. Who's watching? Not a lot of people, but it was to be expected when I'm covering an old-ass show that everyone else has already watched. But yeah, I'm excited. I was putting together stuff for today's stream, and I was like, this is fun, thinking about my year, and I did a lot of stuff. I feel really lucky, very #blessed that I got to go to a lot of concerts. I loved a lot of artists, a lot of music, so that's exciting. So today we're going to be talking about my 2023 Spotify Wrapped, and just in general, the music of 2023. I love following pop music, even though my tastes are very, very narrow. I still like to follow, the mainstream top 40, a little bit of like charts, who's number one, and that kind of stuff. I follow a lot of that. I'm a big fan of the Pophead subreddit. That's honestly how I stay most up to date with my music, but I want to talk about that, kind of my approach to new music, and I would love to hear about y'all's. I don't think this will be a popular stream, but if you're here, I would love to hear about like your favorite artists or your methods or like results you got on your Wrapped, because they do every year weird little extra things on top of your like top songs and artists. So let's get into it. Yay. um, Before we do, don't forget to subscribe to the Miscellaneous channel for videos and live streams. And to find out about other live streams, you can follow me at Miscellaneous. Mostly on Instagram is where I post, and on my community tab here on YouTube. I am streaming in December Monday nights and Friday nights at this time, 8 p.m. Central. And I'm not sure what the next stream is going to be. I have ideas, and I'm going to release a schedule this week for like the next batch of streams. I've just been kind of thinking and playing around with like what things I want to do. I'm thinking maybe I'll do gaming on Fridays, and then Mondays do like a pop cultural thing, kind of like today's. Since I feel like Friday nights people are more busy, and gaming streams people can just catch up later. I don't know. But I'm not sure what game I want to do yet. So if you have game suggestions, please leave them below. Nothing hard, because I'm bad. Cozy only. Unless it's Tetris 99, that's not cozy, but I'm good at it, and I'm considering doing a stream of Tetris 99. But I'm also thinking maybe a Nancy Drew game, or I was thinking replaying Stray maybe, even though that one's kind of hard, and the hard parts, I think I'd feel a lot of pressure being on live and be scared, but maybe we could get through it together, whatever. So yeah, just leave me suggestions for future streams in the comments or in the chat. I would love to listen, because I have some ideas for some streams, but twice a week is a lot, so I would love to hear what y'all enjoy. So let's get into the music discussion, and please chime in with your opinions if you want to. So Spotify Wrapped dropped late last week. It usually comes out at the end of November, early December, and that's why I had planned out this stream in advance. I did not reveal my Spotify Wrapped. I kept it secret, because, I'm sure everyone's dying to know. And I'm going to reveal it on this stream. So first, I want to talk about, as always, I need to give a disclaimer. I think I'm going to be strictly focusing on the artist's work, and like the music of the artist, not so much morality, not so much like pop cultural news. I mean, unless it's that important or huge or significant to me, but just keeping that in mind, because we'd be here all day if we're trying to say compare artists and their personal lives, and some are more private, some are more public. I don't know. So that's just the disclaimer. But first, I want to get into this tarot card thing that Spotify gave this year. I got The Alchemist with this, which means I just make playlists. And I was wondering what y'all got, first of all. And second, like, what's your process with music? Like, do you listen to only new music, and are you on top of new music and new music only? Are you more of a mix and a mood person, where you like listen to old stuff, new stuff, everything in between, a wide variety? I feel like Pam might be in that category. Or are you just like the kind of person that is stuck in some certain era and just listens to old stuff? Because I feel like those are the three main buckets of music listeners. Um, and for me, I'm very much like a new music person, and sometimes I get sad thinking about like every year I have like a lot of new albums, new songs I like, but I feel like I never really revisit them once the next year comes or the next few months. So, like every few months, basically, my process with music, and it reflects in this alchemist thing they're saying. Um, I am paying attention to new releases. I follow all my favorite artists. I follow pop heads. I'm looking, like, I know album release dates, song release dates, so I'm paying attention. And when the album drops, I go and listen to the album, and then I choose my favorite songs, put them on my current playlist, and I always just have one current playlist that I'm rotating songs in and out of. It's kind of weird, but I mean, is it? I don't know. Maybe not. But yeah, I think most people are a little more like varied, but I'm very much a like same songs over and over kind of person. Um, Yeah, Pam says, I think I'm definitely a mix. I save my old Spotify rap playlist for when I'm feeling nostalgic. I do love the Spotify rap playlist for being that, like being a good summary for a certain year. So I like knowing that I have that at least. If I'm like, wait, what was I listening to that year? Like it's there and that brings me comfort. But I feel like I'm always just listening to whatever my current playlist is and whatever rotation that is. And it's mostly new stuff, although some songs I really like will stay there for like a year or over a year. So I don't know what other people were getting. I screenshotted some people's. On the left was a friend of ours. Don't mind the caption about him being a Virgo, but he got the hypnotist, and that one's about like you play albums all the way through, from opening track to final note, and that checks out for him. That makes sense, and that's a type of person, and I feel like I love some albums, but like I never go and play the whole album aside from like the day it releases. Do I delete stuff from my playlist or just start a new one eventually? Usually every few months I start a new one, but I keep the same playlist and delete stuff. So basically I make a copy and then delete stuff, and that's my new current playlist. And then another one of these tarots I was seeing, when it comes to your listening, you like to embrace a little darkness. You listen to emotional, atmospheric music more than most. Was this yours or someone else's? It was one of my friends that sent this. I think a couple of y'all got that one. That one's, I guess, is this one about like sad music or is it about like lo-fi music? I think even Cameron got this. But yeah, I'm a playlist person. I always just pick my favorites out of the album and then go from there. Okay, next we're getting into a controversial part for me, and that is the Sound Town thing that was new this year, because I got Cambridge, and there was so many memes online about Berkeley, Cambridge, and Burlington being like the gay hotspots of music. And I was mad because I feel like I belong in Berkeley, based on like the descriptions. I was feeling very this when I saw this and I saw the memes, because like I see these were some of the tweets, and for me it was like what made me Cambridge was Ava Max, Charlie XCX, and Tubelu. Like, does that sound like Cambridge to you? I don't know. Like I couldn't relate to the memes because This is a good example of one that I was like, I don't relate. Berkeley on the left, Cambridge on the right. To be fair, I do dress way more like the right side of the picture, but on the inside, I am more like the left picture. And they look like they listen to Charlie XCX. And like, hello? Okay, this one is fair. I do dress more like her than Megan Fox, but who doesn't want to be Megan Fox? Obviously. So, I had beef on the Berkeley thing. But you know, it is what it is. What city? Oh, what cities did y'all get? Pam got Cambridge, which that's what told me like Pam fits the Cambridge vibe. She listens to like Phoebe Bridgers and stuff, and I listen to not anything slow or sad or indie vibed. Um, I saw like a lot of my friends that like Latin pop and Latin music. Some people were getting places in Mexico, Guanajuato. Um, but I was only seeing these cities basically on my feeds because that makes sense. Okay, let me detour a little bit. Oh, you can just a little bit. Um, let's talk. Let's talk about some of the top 10 artists globally. I thought these were interesting statistics to look at because this is like the general. This is like Spotify Wrapped, and it's just always interesting to see in a year who people are listening to. To me, it's always like a shock that there's so many men there because I literally like don't listen to men. And it's no shade, like really. I bully some of my friends that listen that have men on their Spotify rap, but it's mostly JK. Um, but honestly, I do listen to some male vocalists occasionally in my songs, but I just really like high pitched vocals. Like that's what it is, and most of the time women have more high pitched vocals. But if I'm listening to a man, it's usually someone with high pitched vocals, like Tame Impala, for example, Kevin Parker of Tame Impala. But anyway, I'd like to see a woman at least at the top. It's no surprise, Taylor Swift. I feel like last year was Bad Bunny, and it's been Bad Bunny pretty consistently, or The Weeknd. They're both super huge globally. Drake, Peso Pluma, he's been really rising. He's Mexican, right? I forgot. I think he's Mexican. But yeah, I couldn't tell you who Feed, number 6. I don't know, never heard. Travis Scott. I'm surprised. I couldn't name one song by Travis Scott. No, I couldn't. I could for like the Bad Bunny, The Weeknd, even Drake. I could muster up something, but Travis Scott, no, not so much. And then SZA, love to see it. Love to see it. She had a huge year, huge rise. I love that for her. I don't really listen to her stuff because she's kind of sleepy. I only listen to like high BPM dance music. Carol G, good for her. I enjoy her. Not the music really, but and Lana Del Rey, same thing. She's a little sleepy for me. But I love to see some women here holding it down. And love this versus and Carol G. I feel like they're newer to the top. Lana Del Rey's kind of surprising. Was the Tunnel album this year? That sounds right, but I feel like I've heard about it for longer than that. That's kind of a throwback. Like, good for her, too. And then top song. This was really surprising to me. Flowers by Miley Cyrus. Like, that was a big song, and I love it, and I love Miley Cyrus. But, like, wasn't it that big? Especially, like, with Taylor Swift in the mix and Bad Bunny. Like, where are they? Where are they in the top, like, 5? I don't know. Anyway, so, but good for her. I love that. Yeah, that was early in the year. Oh, the Lana album. Yeah, I feel like it's been around. SZA, that makes sense. As It Was, oh my god, people need to let that one go. JK, I was a Directioner, so I can say that. Jungkook, he's from BTS, is he? Is it one of their solo projects? We got Peso Pluma there. I don't know this Creepin' one. Calm Down, that one is huge. I danced to it in my dance class. Well, like my dance exercise class, and the choreography is really hard. It's such a mental workout. Okay, there's one song on here I contributed to, and that was the Shakira diss track to her ex-husband. That was on my playlist for a while, and it's in my top 100. That's the only one actually out of these that's in my top 100. Are any of these artists? None of the artists are in my top 100 even, I don't think. And the only song, yeah, Shakira song. That's good though. I'm glad. That's my representation right there. There's two Taylor though. Two Taylors, so evens out for her being number 1. It's crazy Cruel Summer had such a big year because that is a song from Lover, right? And that was from 2019. And it was just one of those, I remember even back then seeing the Pop Heads threads. Because for Taylor Swift, it's interesting because I really like her approach to like music, but I don't love the music itself. Like, I don't listen to her a lot, but I love that she like hypes it up, does music videos, does a lot of songs on her albums, does the re-records, like tours a lot. Like, I, as a Gaga fan, am jealous of the Swifties, but Cruel Summer was one of those that people were like kept telling her like make it a single, make it a single. I remember back in 2019, the pop heads were all like, why is Cruel Summer not a single? That should have been Song of the Summer, all that. And like, I hadn't even heard the song and I couldn't tell you how it goes. Every time I see Cruel Summer, I think Lord's Solar Power, but instead of saying Solar Power, Cruel Summer. So like, I always think Cruel Summer is her saying Cruel Summer to the tune of Solar Power by Lorde. I don't know why those are just crossed in my mind, but I can't tell you how it goes, but the people loved it and kept telling her to make it a single, and now they have like proved it and made it skyrocket. It's been number 1 or it was number 1 a lot this year, I think. And then Anti-Hero was more from her recent album, so that makes more sense. That was her big single off the Midnights one. Was Midnights this year, or was it late last year? I don't remember. Okay, and top albums. This matches up better with the... Oh, so Midnights was this year. It's there. Unless these are just... Does it matter when? No, it doesn't matter when they were released, so never mind. Midnights might have been released last year because Lover was not released this year. This kind of matches the top artists a lot better. The Karol G album, The Weeknd. Oh, Starboy is hella old. What the heck? SOS. The Bad Bunny album. These all kind of seem old. Harry's House is old. It's from last year. I don't know who Metro Boomin is. Are they good? This Morgan Wallen guy, he's like the country guy now, right? We don't like him. Okay, so let me get into now some of my friends' Spotify Wraps. Okay, Midnights was late last year. Or late last year. Got it. That makes sense. Like, I kind of remembered it being last year. Okay. So now we're getting into some of my friends or Instagram people that it's mostly my friends. They just sent me their raps to review. First up, we're already kind of on the topic, but my Swiftie friends, these are them. Gotta love them. Honestly, hers is kind of really close to like the global top 10. You got Karol G, Bad Bunny, and Taylor Swift. And then Beyonce, who's just like, I feel like of all time top artist, and Kali Uchis. This friend told me she would rearrange the artists. And it's just kind of weird with rap because there's so much like release bias and timing bias of what will show up on your rap. Like if something was released in January, it's gonna take over your rap compared to an album you might really like released in like October or November. That's obviously not gonna be reflected, and you'll see a lot of that in my in my data. There's a lot of that. So this order to her is different, and I'm gonna get into that with mine. She also talks a lot about Young Miko, and she sent me when I asked on Instagram who people liked, Young Miko is like the up and coming artist that she really likes. I don't know much about her. I think she said gay reggaetonera, perhaps. I forgot to screenshot the answers I got. I didn't get many, but and she got flowers too. Top streams. She contributed. She made it the #1 song. Cruel Summer also really high. That makes sense. So she's way more like, I think, Latin pop heavy and reggaeton. And then this is Pam's Exposed, who is more, I feel like, the indie pop, like pop indie more than indie pop, I feel like. But this, I feel like, is a very, like, this is a profile. This is Cambridge to me. Boy Genius was huge this year. Muna, we saw them in concert, me and Pam. Phoebe Bridgers, like I said, and Carly Rae Jepsen. Me and Pam definitely have a Venn diagram for sure of interest. It's mostly due to her circle, like, intersects with my tiny little circle. But Carly Rae is definitely a spot in our Venn diagram. I don't know these songs. Do you want to elaborate on any of them aside from Cruel Summer, we know, and Silk Chiffon, I know, is a Muna song that's very popular. It's one of their more recent albums. But that's a great song. I love Silk Chiffon. Oh, is this Olivia? American Teen Bitch or something? Y'all, the Olivia album was not anywhere in the global thing or the top artists. I was kind of shook. No Vampire in the top songs. I wonder if like Driver's License was up there. But I was kind of surprised. Okay, 2 of the songs are Boy Genius and 1 is Ethel Cain. Okay. So it's not Olivia. But I feel like Guts by Olivia did really well, and she's set. Like, I don't think she's one of these like, sophomore album slump or anything. I think she just had such a huge debut that it's like, it's gonna be really hard to overcome that, and she'll probably get there. She'll probably have a magnum opus moment. and she'll get there, but Guts, I thought Guts was more popular and would have made it in one of those spots in the top. But it's global, so it's like there's a lot of data there, and maybe her demographic is a little more narrow than super global just yet. But Pam wins the minutes listened, and that checks out because I forgot to put mine in. I think that looks like this, that has the minutes, but I'll say my minutes are like 10,000. As much as I say, oh, I love music and this and that, like, I think because I just listen to the same few songs, like, I don't listen to music that much, and throughout my days, I watch, like, YouTube in the background. I prefer, like, TV or video in the background when I'm doing work, rather than music. So I think that's maybe some of the difference. Okay, more friends. This one, like, I really enjoyed, and again, a lot of minutes. This is another friend of ours. This was huge, also because this is like the friend I bullied because he had so many men. I don't know if it was last year or the year before in his top, and I was like, excuse me, why do you have so many men? And I was just being goofy, but he turned it around, and I was really proud. This is like an amazing lineup. You got SZA, you got Janelle Monáe, you got Doja Cat, Taylor Swift, and Kali Uchis. Like, that's great, I think. And y'all saw SZA, right? I think this year, which is so cool. I think he saw Doja Cat too. I think he saw Taylor Swift. I don't know if... When was Eras? I think I've already lost track. Was Eras this year, like the US leg? I feel like it was. There were just so many shows, but I think he saw Taylor. He saw Janelle. Oh, we were there. I was there too. He saw like everybody. Oh my god. Except maybe Kali Uchis. But I don't know. Maybe he did. That's wild. That's so cool. I don't know these songs except Boy's a Liar. That was super viral. It's so good. I was just so shook and proud, and I told them that. Dang, yes, you saw SZA and Taylor this year. Yeah. That's wow, he saw 4 of his top 5 in 1 year. That's wild. Maybe he was prepping for the concerts a lot, and this happened too. Because he listens to a lot of stuff too, similar to Pam. Like, y'all really, like, are diverse in your tastes. So maybe that was part of it. He was, like, prepping for these concerts on loop. And then this one in the middle, he did not send it to me, but this is someone that is like, well, he's my only little monster friend. And we always run into each other at the same shows. And so I just appreciate his music taste. Again, another one who he's way more diverse than me with his taste. But I always respect it and appreciate it. He's a little more into K-pop. I think New Jeans is K-pop. He's a good little monster and still has Gaga as number 4. And he told me he had Alice from Chromatica still in his top 100 songs. And he sent me the whole playlist, which I was like, thank you, because his taste is good. But I was not as good of a little monster this year, I gotta say, unfortunately. But taste, Jessie Ware. That's kind of like, she's more of a deep cut, but she made a really great disco album this year, or like disco inspired. Carolyn Polachek, like I feel like these are like higher brow of like the things I listen to. And then Carly Rae Jepsen. I mean, I think everyone's Venn diagram meets at Carly Rae Jepsen, it seems like. And okay, then we have on the very right, I don't know why her picture was so small, but she's closer to me in like minutes listened. Maybe she listens to other stuff a lot more as well. This is our friend that like she doesn't seem to follow pop music very much. But she did. I mean, she listened to Janelle Monáe and Olivia Rodrigo's. I know she liked Olivia's new album. She also listens to a lot of musicals, a lot of soundtracks. So I feel like her Spotify Wrapped is always a little bit, like, very varied in, like, purposes of music. And that's another thing about me. Like, I don't listen to, like, lo-fis and musicals, like, show tunes. Like, I don't vary it at all. So, like, I find it kind of annoying, like, that Spotify Wrapped counts, like, lo-fi stuff versus pop stuff versus... I don't know. I just feel like I wish there was a way to, like, differentiate that stuff. Because occasionally I do play something that's, like, I just want in the background or something, but then I'm like, I don't want to play too much or it'll get all up on my Spotify Wrapped thing. But yeah, she listens to a lot of, like, video game soundtracks. Okay, what's next? Okay, I think it's finally the big reveal. So we're going to count down my top 5 artists. They are no surprise to anybody. But they don't match a lot of other people. So I'm trying to see, do I have anyone that shares a top artist? No one so far shares a top artist with me. Nobody. Not even the Gaga. That's the gag. Hello. Yeah, I usually switch to YouTube for lo-fi so it doesn't mess with my stats. I agree. I will listen to lo-fi on YouTube. They have a lot of fun visuals for that too, which I enjoy, like, exploring. But yeah, okay. We're counting down my top artists. We haven't talked about any of them yet. At number 5, drum roll. Okay, it's Slater. So, Slater is one of these that definitely suffered from a late in the year release. She would have been way higher. She might have been number 2. Oh, Float was so good. Janelle Monáe. We're going to talk more about Janelle Monáe later. I loved the Slater album from this year that came out in September, I believe, late September. It's called Starfucker. Excuse the profanity. There's a lot of profanity in it. It just so happens, like, because I like dance, pop, electronic music, it also is very raunchy sometimes. I mean, I guess a lot of genres play with a lot of raunchy stuff. But I loved this album. She was channeling the Fame by Gaga quite a lot. She cites it as an inspiration a lot, and you can definitely tell. And obviously that wins over my heart any day. But there's so many songs I like off of it. Like, I pretty much added this whole album to my playlist. My favorites are probably, like, Girl Like Me, which kind of sounds like a Kylie Minogue song, but it's a Slater song. And I love Rhinestone Heart, Memories View, Erotic Electronic, Super Sexy. And I loved the singles. Miss Belladonna and Out of Time were so good. Which, top right here is Out of Time. She also covered Monster by Lady Gaga. I mentioned it in today's Vanderpump video I released, but it was such an amazing cover, such an amazing song. But she, like, made it her own. She just, like, really won me over with this album. I was a fan of her before, and I liked her previous albums, but this one just had a polish to it that's just insane, and I wish she was higher on my list. Okay. And you can see there, like, basically any peak is when she released a single leading up to the album, and then this is the this is the album. Okay, next. Number 4. It's Kylie Minogue. I love this for me because Kylie Minogue has had a really long career, and I feel like I've discovered her more kind of in later years rather than her earlier stuff. She has like an insane catalog of albums. I really fell in love with her with the disco album, which was in 2020, I think. It's just such a great like ambiance album. It all has like really sparkly pop vibes. I still really love it. But then this year she released like my song of the summer, which was Padam Padam. And it became kind of this viral hit, mostly in the gay community, but like it became huge. I need to revisit Kylie's discography too. But then the album came out. So Padam Padam, you can see the summer. I played it a lot. It was truly my song of the summer. And then in September is when Tension, the album, came out. And actually the Tension, the one underneath, is the deluxe. And this one comes out this week, the deluxe. And I'm excited. I think, right? Or is it out already? Crap. It's coming out around this time. I don't know if it's the extended mixes or the deluxe or both, but that's the cool thing about Kylie. She always releases like an album of extended songs. So it's the album, but each song is like 5 minutes long or 6 minutes long. And that's even better if you're playing the album start to finish for a vibe. And I love this album. Again, this is another one. It came out like probably the same day as Slater's. And they just didn't benefit from being such late releases. But I loved Vegas High, for sure. Vegas High is like my anthem now. That's on the Tension album. I loved Story, Somebody to Love, and Hold On to Now, Things We Do for Love. With Kylie, sometimes her songs blend together, but it's in a good way to me. I don't know. It's all so cohesive and so sparkly and nice, and I love it. And you didn't realize it was a heat map. It's kind of random design, and there's so many weird shapes that it makes sense. But it's helpful visually to see, like, you know, obviously this artist suffered from being a late in the year release. But I was anticipating both the Slater and Kylie albums all year. I was like waiting, counting down for them. Okay, next is my number 3 artist, and it's Tuvalu. So this is one artist that would have like fallen way down this year. And it's literally a product of her releases at the end of the year last year. So basically, Tuvalu was one of my favorite top artists in 2022. And because she released her album, I think in October last year, I was playing it like the first half of the year quite a lot still. And she released I Like You and Borderline, a couple singles I really liked. So I love her. I love Tuvalu. She has some of my favorite songs of all time. I think Talking Body is like one of my favorite songs of all time for sure. And I love her, but I wouldn't put her in my top artist for like 2023 because for me she was really high up there for 2022. And she didn't release that much this year. And it, like obvious, it's the peak month is January. So I don't know. This is one I would like lower down as a top artist of the year. But I really love Dirt Femme. That's the one that came out, the album that came out. Suburbia is my favorite, Pineapple Slice, and there's the third one that I play. Oh, I love Grapefruit. I love the message of Grapefruit, but it's also a bop. Okay, next. Oh, I'm embarrassed a little bit. Okay, this next artist, y'all gonna have to forgive me. Um, it was definitely a matter of quantity over quality for this next artist. That she ended up at number 2. So that is Kim Petras. I'm sorry. So Kim Petras released so much this year, and like she just does like bubblegum pop, so and it's always high BPM, like dancing music, so I fell for it, obviously. She released 2 separate albums. They don't know what they're doing with Miss Kimberly's career. And you can tell, like, they've tried everything and somehow nothing has landed. But I like the songs, the bops, if I just take them at face value. Both Problematique and Feed the Beast, those were the albums. I liked certain songs. I feel like I could build one album, like, combining my favorites from either. And then she had a lot of singles. I mean, she had her Unholy moment with Sam Smith. They won a Grammy together for that one. She had a collab with Nicki. She sampled, like, probably my favorite song of all time, which is Better Off Alone. So I had to listen to it, even though I like the original better, unfortunately. She released a collab with Paris. Several just singles. She still released one recently with David Guetta that I liked, or it's on my playlist. It's a bop. But yeah, she just had so many releases that she ended up higher than I would have put her. There's really just a few select songs from all these projects that like have had longevity in my playlist, and they're mostly from Feed the Beast, I think. But yeah. Okay. Moving on to number 1. It's super obvious. I kind of teased it or showed it on Instagram, but that is Ava Max. I'm wearing the shirt. This is her. So this is I gotta defend it, I guess. She really benefited that her album came out in January. She would have had a run for her money against Slater and Kylie if they had all released at the same time. But I really, really loved Ava Max's latest album. Before this album, I mostly liked her singles from previous eras. But this album was just like, it's a little bit juvenile. It's a little bit simple. It samples a lot of 80s songs. But it was just the perfect formula that like makes my brain happy, scratches it in whatever way is the most satisfying, because it was just like, this album was like crack to me. Like I was playing it over and over. And she also released a few singles I really liked. She had one for the Barbie movie, Choose Your Fighter. That song is so goofy. Like, the lyrics are so, like, for babies, but I liked it. It played during the mugshot scene, I think. The chase, where they're chasing Barbie and Ken in the neon outfits. She had another random single called Car Keys that I really liked. That was so random, I don't even know. It was like she does a lot of like DJ collabs or producer collabs, like that was with Alok, I don't know. But yeah, Ava Max. But you can see the peak listening was in that early part of the year. I still have her on my playlist quite a lot. I loved this whole album. It was pretty much all on my playlist for this time, for like the first half of the year. And then I selected a few of my favorites. I loved Get Out of My Heart. Dancing's Done, which is the closer to the album. The singles were great, but I played them to death last year. This album took forever to come out. I loved Ghost. I danced to it in my exercise classes, and I live. But yeah, it was Ava Max this year. It just had to be. I saw her live the show was way too short. I'm still upset. But it was a really fun. We made a nice weekend trip out of it to Houston, and we stayed in a nice hotel for that night, and we just made it like a fun luxurious thing. And it was really chill. So, love Ava Max. Maxi Pad for life. What else can I say? So this is my list. Oh, top songs. Sorry, no suspense, no suspense for the top songs because, like I said, I played this album so much and it was so early in the year. No other albums stood a chance. Last night on Earth, I forgot to mention that. Weapons. I'm surprised, but then every time it plays, I'm like, it's a bop. And then this was really the one I'm proud of, or just like, I'm proud of the song for just persisting, and I love it so much. This song has been like the top song on like my rotating playlist since it came out. I am obsessed with Alien Superstar. And I'm so glad it broke whatever this was of just Ava Max songs. Because that song just like transcends. It's unexplainable. Every time it comes on, it takes over me. And I'm so glad. And I'm so glad I got to see it live. And I'll talk more about that in a sec. But yeah, like Pam was saying, I also saw a lot of my top artists this year. I did. I went to a lot of concerts. I have a bit of a concert review in a second. Dia says, Alien Superstar is one of my top songs and honestly one of my overall fave Beyonce songs. Literally, yeah, it's my favorite Beyonce song of all time. I am not like super familiar with her entire discography, just like kind of like her bigger songs, but Renaissance I really liked as an album, but Alien Superstar just transcended to me, so it's still on my playlist to this day. It's probably, I think it's the oldest song on the playlist as of now, which it's not an old song, but usually my playlist is current-ish music. But yeah, I'm obsessed. Okay, so in concert, I saw Ava Max. I was supposed to see Kim Petras, but my boyfriend had COVID, and I had side effects from my vaccine. Like, I had a fever. So I wasn't quite sure if it was COVID or not. So I decided to, like, protect the fellow bunheads and not go, and potentially spread COVID. I ended up not getting it, which I'm glad, but sad to have missed Miss Kimberly in Austin. And then we saw Tuvalu and Slater. I was so hyped for that show because it was both of them. Slater had not released her album yet, but she played like one or two songs from it. But Slater was the opener to Tuvalu, and that concert was like my cheapest concert of the year. It was $40, and I was just like, I can't believe I'm seeing two of my top artists. I would love to go to a proper Slater show sometime. And then Kylie, I'm gonna see her in Vegas, so I'm really excited about that early next year. So I feel really lucky. When I didn't even realize it until I was like making this PowerPoint and realizing, I was like, oh my god, like I actually saw a lot of them and I have plans to see Kylie, who's a big one for me. So I really love it. Okay, so this is my quantitative whatever top artists, top songs. And I wanted to sort of shuffle them around to like how I feel. Inside, not data driven, and do my qualitative. So I shuffled some of these around and I added new songs to the songs because Get Out of My Heart is my ultimate from Diamonds and Dance Floors, and I'd rather put other stuff in the top 5 if I'm making a holistic top 5 songs of the year, in my opinion. For me, not for everybody, but the artists I kept the same, but I shuffled them. So here's my qualitative swaparoo. Okay, so for me, Ava Max, Slater, and Kylie, top 3. Tove Lo, I left her at 4 because she did have some singles I really loved, and I did play her 2022 album quite a bit the first half of the year, and I saw her live, and she was awesome. And then Kim, because she did, in the end, release a good amount of bops that I enjoyed this year. Just maybe they didn't inspire me as much as some of the others, and so I would drop her down a little lower. And then for songs, I switched it up kind of. I was so close to putting Addison Rae at the number 1 spot of my songs. I'm ready to fight and defend and be persecuted for my love of Addison Rae. She released an EP this year, and it was also late in the year, so it didn't really make my top anything except my top. Well, she's in my top 100. But it was an EP with like 4 songs. One of them was featuring Charlie XCX, which ended up not being one of my favorites, even though I love Charlie. But I Got It Bad is such a bop, and I'm ready for people to be mad. I filmed a video just about Addison Rae just because I loved this EP so much, and it's probably coming out on my channel next. So I won't talk too much about it because I fangirl enough in that video. But the song was just so good, and I debated putting it at number 1. It's corny and camp, but to me, it gives Britney vibes. And I did see somebody message me, responded to my Instagram story about their favorite artists, and they mentioned Sabrina, Olivia Rodrigo, and Tate McRae. Tate McRae, it's like just coming on the scene. Mostly she's been like really marketed. Was it one of y'all? She's been really pushed lately because she's releasing an album, I believe, and she released a single. She released a music video. I'm not fully on the Tate McRae train. Tate McRae train. Because I'm more behind Addison Rae being like the next Britney, but brunette. But we'll see. I would love a little new pop girly battle. Let's take it to the dance floor. Because that's great. I team Addison Rae, but no need to pit women against each other anymore. I just haven't listened to that much of the Tate McRae stuff. It hasn't like clicked with me yet, but it might. She is making kind of upbeat pop, so there's potential there. And then at number 3, I put Vegas High by Kylie Minogue. Love Vegas High. I love Vegas, and I'm excited to hear this song in Vegas. So that was my favorite from the Tension album. And then Alien Superstar, I just bumped it up 1 just for its perseverance and persistence. And in honor of seeing the Renaissance tour this year. And then number 5, I did put a Kim Petras song. I think the best one this year for her was Claws, for sure, from Feed the Beast. That song is just so... It's a little kind of like her Halloween albums vibe, and her Halloween albums are like the strongest. So that's my more qualitative thing, and I would love if other people did this. I don't know if people do this much, but it's better. You can, as a human, discern better, like, through the year, who did you like the best, regardless of like when in the year they released. So that's that. I want to give some honorable mentions though to some other favorite artists of mine. These were the main ones. I mean, I already gave kudos to Addison Rae out here, and I will in my video, but Charlie XCX, a fave. She just didn't release much this year. I liked her. Actually, here, I put what songs I liked by each. Um, Charlie released Speed Drive, In the City, and the Welcome to My Island remix, which was a Carolyn Polachek song. I don't listen to her much, but this remix went hard, and I loved it. Gaga, she just has to be there. She did not release anything really this year in the pop realm. But it was the 10-year anniversary of Art Pop, and I was listening to Gaga like recently when the Art Pop anniversary happened, late November or mid-November. But I think that was past the cutoff for Wrapped, so Gaga ended up not even in my top 100, which she would have if they counted like through November, I think. But that's sad. That's like a first that she's not even in my top artists. I have bought a lot of her records this year, though. I had lost a lot of her earlier records, and I went and bought Faye Monster last weekend, and I got excited all over it because it had the Fame and the Fame Monster together in it, and I was like, oh. But yeah, it's okay. She'll release again someday, or I'll listen again. And then Carly Rae Jepsen, I mentioned her with some other people had her in her top. I don't usually vibe with her entire albums. And it's weird because she is super beloved in the pop heads world, and by a lot of people. But every album there's like one or two songs that are just like amazing to me and I'm obsessed with. And she released like 2 albums this year, and from those I like Talking to Yourself. I love that song. I debated putting it in the top 5. And then Kamikaze and Psychedelic Switch are from the second album. It's like The Loneliest Time and then The Loveliest Time. She likes to do a lot of like dual albums, I feel like. But those songs are everything to me. Like, I love them so much. They're euphoric pop, and that's what she's great at. It's just some songs just don't click with me, but then some are like, this is everything I've ever wanted. On the bottom here, bottom left, she's probably the most low-profile artist of these. She's an independent artist, like officially. Madison Rose. Let me just scoot her for talking about her. She is really just leaning into like party pop, and I've really loved her approach. She's super colorful in her presentation. She's just like everything I appreciate in an artist, and she deserves more streams, more follows. Lost My Mind to the DJ is my all-time favorite of hers. It's not from this year, but it's from her like debut album, Technicolor. And I just love it. I love it because I love the idea of DJs and dancing. Even though in real life it's a little sweatier than I would like. But Lost My Mind to the DJ, I love it. And Girls, Girls, Girls was her big release. And now she's doing like a holiday version. So for Halloween, she did Ghouls, Ghouls, Ghouls. And then for Thanksgiving, she did like Gourds, Gourds, Gourds. And for Christmas, what is she doing? Like Gifts, Gifts, Gifts or something? Something like that. It's so funny. So she's really, really fun and cool. Madison Rose. I love her. I think she'll continue rising. I hope for her, and I'll keep supporting. And then Dua Lipa, much less low profile, I guess, pretty mainstream, but this year is the year I accepted that I'm a Dua Lipa stan. Officially, I'm coming out as a, what are they called? The Dula Peeps, the fan? I love Dua Lipa, and I really want to see her live. I'm excited for her new album. I was sad Houdini didn't make it on my top 100 because it like just came out. But I'm enjoying Houdini. I'm enjoying the direction. You can hear the Tame Impala-ness of it all. And that's kind of a dream collab for me, because Tame Impala is like the one sort of indie-ish, rock-ish band I enjoy, or guy, whatever. But I think Dance the Night was such a huge moment for the Barbie movie. It was like the face of the Barbie movie, though, like the sonical face. That doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like, it was the symbol of the Barbie movie, the song and the choreography. I've been trying to learn it. It's really hard for me that I'm not a dancer. But I think Dance the Night also was a bit of a song of the summer for me since Barbie was so huge. And yeah, I love Dua Lipa. I don't know why it took me so long to come to terms with being a stan. I think just because she's so mainstream, and also like I don't know anything about her or relate to her or anything. She keeps pretty private. All she does is go on like luxury vacations all year. So it's not super relatable, but you know, I love her music. I loved Future Nostalgia, and I just love her commitment to pop. That's all I need from an artist, honestly. Commitment to pop. That's all I ask for. And then Addison Rae, I already talked about. Nothing On But the Radio is another one from the EP I really liked, and it's a Gaga unreleased song, so that's why. But I love the song as well, like not just because of that. It's a bop. Okay, and then concerts I saw this year. I already talked about my top artists, Tove Lo, Slater, and Ava Max. Love them. They're my top artists of the year, but I also saw a lot of other concerts, and I feel really glad I did. I did see Sabrina Carpenter. Pam wanted to go, and I was like, I liked her in Tall Girl, so I want to go see her. But no, like, I love her. Like, she kind of has like a sense of humor, and she does like the funny outros. She's done a really good job at like branding herself, I think. Like, even though she's kind of fighting the fight of like climbing the pop girl ladder, she has these little things that are her own, and the outro's a big one. And I feel like her aesthetic, it's very like, she does a lot of heart symbology in her stuff, and her tour was really, really cute. And yeah, it was a really fun time seeing Sabrina. We also saw Muna, and that was like a big kind of full circle for me because I saw them in the same venue where I first discovered them, and they were openers for Group Love. That's how long ago it was, in like probably 2016. And that was the first time I'd heard of Muna, and my other friend who went to the same show was like, oh my god, the opener was so good, right? And I was like, yeah, it's so good. And we always like remembered seeing Muna there, and now they've risen up and they're like pretty known. And so it was the same exact venue too that we saw them again. Now they have like a much bigger discography, and they're just a really fun time and really great. That was really cool. They talked about like that first time I saw them, they like were sick or something, or drunk, or something like sickly was happening backstage with them. And I was like, damn, that's sad. But this time it sounded they're in a better place. I did see Jonas Brothers. This just kind of happened because my friend had a ticket, and it was like my birthday weekend, and I was like, sure. And they were playing at this newer venue in Austin called the Moody Center, and I'd never been to it, so I was like, let's do it. Why not? And it was like the day the divorce news broke about Joe. It was the day of the concert. And like we were looking to see if he had a ring on like during the show. It was so goofy, but they were pretty good. I appreciated they had a lot of female musicians in their band and stuff, a lot of live instruments in general. And it was also a long show. They were trying to kind of do an Eras thing like Taylor does. But it was a long ass show, like 3 hours. So we got our money's worth, even though it was kind of expensive because it was just good seats. So all in all, it was a great concert experience because the venue is really nice. It's new. It's good seats. You get your money's worth. You had a long show. So all in all, great. And I was really happy to see Kevin because I'd been following him on Claim to Fame and his hosting there. And it was also kind of nostalgic, obviously, the more nostalgic Jonas Brothers songs from the Disney Channel days and stuff. So all in all, this one was a little random, but really fun. And then we also saw Janelle Monáe. That was pretty recent, like a month or two ago. And she's just amazing. She's like so theater kid, like camp, and like she's just so so over the top in like the best way. She like really puts on a show. And it was this outdoor venue. So her like staging of it, it's very like nature, and there was like flowers everywhere. It was just a gorgeous like stage design that she had, and it worked really well being an outdoor venue. Because this isn't the album that she was touring. This was just the better high-res photo I found, but her newer album is a lot more of like a natural vibe. And it was just so great. Great show. I'm so glad I got to see her. I'm a big fan of the Dirty Computer album, which is this. I wasn't so much into the Age of Pleasure because it was just a little bit slower. But still just like a great show. I mean, as you can see, I'm down for a good show, whether they're my top artist or not my top artist, and just like I admire them or have liked songs by them or liked them in other projects. So really cool. Also, I saw Tenacious D as well in concert, which is Jack Black's duo band. I didn't want to put the picture because it kind of ruined my collage aesthetic, but my boyfriend Cameron is a big fan of Tenacious D, and so we went. And that was very fun to see Jack Black in person. He was wild. He was like rolling around on the floor, doing like somersaults on the floor. I mean, I love him. I love him on School of Rock. That's probably one of my favorite movies of all time. So I was just down to go see Jack Black. I didn't know the songs or anything, but they were fun. They were very like rock vibes, like classic rock. I don't know. Don't ask me about rock stuff. Never mind. Dirty Computer is a fantasy album, or is a fantastic album. She deserved Album of the Year. For real. I love Dirty Computer. I just thrifted this crew neck from the Dirty Computer tour. And it was like, I was so excited. I'm going to wear it soon in a stream or something. But I was so excited to find it. And it kind of has like a glitch. Yeah, the visual, that really brought it all together. It was a great project, the Dirty Computer project. Like, ultimate artistry for sure. And then I ignored this one in the last slide because it deserved its own slide, but the Renaissance World Tour was in September. And, you know, I had just healed from my stomach bacteria. I was living my life. I had just turned 29. And this was just an amazing show. Like I said before, like, I'm not a huge like follower of Beyonce's whole career because she doesn't always do dance music, but Renaissance she did. And I was living, and then my friend had one extra ticket to the Renaissance tour in Houston, and she was like asking us like who wants to go, and we all kind of wanted to go. We just, at first, like when tickets first came out, we were like, I don't know, it's a lot of money, it's travel. Like these days, to go to a concert, sometimes, depending on the venue, but something like this, you have to be like a huge fan to justify all the costs that come along with it. And so when the tickets first came out, it felt like, the Eras debacle had just happened. It felt like, well, you better be like the biggest Beyonce fan if you're going to get tickets to Renaissance. And so I didn't try. But then my friend who had an extra ticket, because she was going to go with someone and they ended up not being able to, she was like, well, I have one extra ticket. It's this much in the nosebleeds. And I was like, dang, I want to go. And then I told Cameron, I was like, I'm thinking of taking up Sam on her offer, like she has a ticket. And then he was like, excuse me, I want the ticket. And I was like, what? You can't have the ticket. Like, if anyone's getting the ticket, it's me. She's not going to bypass me to give the ticket to you. But he was like, it's in Houston, because Cameron doesn't, like, keep up with when tickets come out with stuff. And so he wasn't aware that the tickets came out. He only, like, I get the tickets in our partnership to all the concerts. And so he was like, I want to go. And so we just looked into tickets, like, secondhand, and found some close to her seats that were close to the price she was selling at. And it worked out. So we got 2 tickets, like, a couple rows behind them. And I knew also Pam wanted to go, like, a similar amount as me. And so I was like, this is great. Now Pam can take the extra ticket, and now me and Cameron have our own tickets. And so we all went together and did a whole Houston thing. We stayed in a really cute Airbnb. And it was just, like, the time of our lives. Like, the show was amazing, even in the nosebleeds. The scale is so grand. That it was amazing. These are not my photos. I get no good footage or photos of concerts I go to. I've just kind of given up on that a little, but at our show, Megan Thee Stallion came out. Of course, Blue Ivy came out. And she wore this red one, I think, right, y'all? She wore the red one for us. And I just put the green one because green was the Alien Superstar. I also loved the cozy performance, the pink. It was just such a iconic experience. And I'm so glad. It was just one of those things that it was like, maybe I, didn't know her full career, and maybe I didn't know a lot of the songs she was singing, like, especially the ballads. Unfortunately, I did not know all of the songs, but, like, it was in Houston, her hometown. It's this huge tour, huge album. She's kind of, like, at her peak of her career. It just felt like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that I didn't want to pass up. And I agree with Dia. Not even exaggerating, the Renaissance tour was a life-altering moment for me. You're so lucky you got to see Megan. I know. We were so excited, and we were scared because we went on night 2, and Megan Thee Stallion came out on night 1, and we were like, oh, she's not going to come out for us because she already came out last night. So we were like, is she going to come out? Is she not? And then she did. So that was so cool, too. I love Megan Thee Stallion. I loved her on Legendary. All these people, I feel like I know more from their TV projects, but love Megan Thee Stallion. She's amazing. And it was such a moment, and it's very, like, passing of the torch because she's, like, younger, but also from Houston. It was just a beautiful, beautiful experience. Super long show. There's, like, one part in the show that she doesn't do in every city, and I was looking a lot at the Reddit, the Beyonce Reddit, leading up to this and after, and a lot of people were talking about the big 3 songs, and if she really likes a city or feels like it, I don't know, she does the big 3, which are, I know All Up in Your Mind is one of them, but there's 2 other more popular. Is it Drunken Love? No. I don't know, but people were dying for the big three. So we were lucky because everyone on the Reddit was basically like, oh, Houston's guaranteed the big three. So we got like kind of the longest show she does, or like the maximum amount of time Beyonce does on a show. Of course, Houston was gonna get. Thick. Yes. Thick is on that. I was just like, I can't believe these aren't in every city. But who knows the decisions and logistics that go into that stuff. But yeah, I just felt really lucky, really special being in Houston. Really special just witnessing her artistry, her performance, the scale of everything. It was very life-changing. It really was. And we all felt like afterwards, like, wow, my brain is altered. So really awesome. Really awesome. And so lucky we got that experience. Yeah, I wonder why she cut those 3 specifically. I have no idea. They seem like they're... Except All Up in Your Mind, which everyone hates except me. I just like it because it's produced by A.G. Cook. But those other 2 are so iconic and huge songs, so there's no reason to cut them. So that was my concerts. I also did some miscellaneous, if you will, shows in the year. I'll wrap it up with that. I just had to add these because I was looking through my photos of things and found some other cool shows I went to that weren't music, but were other things. And I do want to see the Renaissance movie sometime soon. I forgot. So I saw a couple of Drag Race royalties. Yeah, I never got the All Up in Your Mind slander. I know, right? I was like the only one standing in our section for All Up in Your Mind. I was like, yes, finally. So yeah, got to see some Drag Race royalty, Monet Exchange. Thank you to Pam, who couldn't make it to the show and gave us tickets. Because it was such an amazing show. I love Monet Exchange. She's one of my favorite Drag Race queens. She looked amazing. Like, anytime I see a Drag Race queen in person, I'm just like, they look so flawless and like perfect. It's wild. So she was doing comedy and she did a little bit of singing, which was a really nice treat. And then I saw like the current reigning Drag Race, what's it called? America's Next Drag Superstar? Sorry, I'm like, what is the thing? But Sasha Colby, that's like the least of her titles, the Drag Race title. She was amazing, and this was a tiny, tiny venue. So we were up close seeing Sasha Colby and Carrie Colby, her daughter, who was on season 14 of Drag Race. So that was iconic, and I was looking back and I was like, oh my god, yeah, I saw Sasha Colby. I have to include it in the music stream, even though it's not music, but she's iconic. I think she did do Misery Business, which is one of her like classic numbers. And then I saw a couple of podcasts / comedy tours, and that was really recent. One was the I've Had It podcast, which is these older white ladies that complain about stuff. I love that podcast. They're so funny. Just, they be complaining. And they look Republican, but they're not. They're liberal. So I appreciate that about them. They were very funny, very cool. They gave like a nice, decent, long show. And were cool. And at the same venue, I also saw Z-Way a couple weeks before that. The I've Had It podcast show was a week ago. So that was really recent. And then Z-Way was like a couple weeks before that. And Z-Way, we were front row. And for I've Had It, we were last row. So we experienced first row and last row in the same venue. And Z-Way was so fun. I was so glad I was first row for Z-Way. It just so happened I like clicked to get tickets right when it went live. Like, I happened to be on my phone. And I think that's how I got first row, because it wasn't on purpose. It's kind of general admission. Anyway, that's not important. But Z-Way is on her book tour, and I have her book, and I'm still working on reading it because I have a million books that I have started. um, but she was so great, so funny. She brought up Christy Carlson Romano out of nowhere. I didn't know this was a thing she did at her shows, but I guess she gets like a local celebrity, or celebrity used loosely, from the town she's in to kind of awkwardly interview. In that photo, she's like yelling at us to sing the song behind her about capitalism. She like made us sing it many times until we got it right. But it was really funny, and I was just like, Christy Carlson Romano, that's random, because she lives in Austin, so it's not that random, but I didn't, because a lot of Z-Way stuff is about interviewing guests, and so I didn't realize she brings in a guest. That's pretty cool. So I love that. Those are just random shows, just to put a bow on the concerts of the year. And that was our Spotify Wrapped. I love it. I love it. It was so fun to reminisce. I feel lucky and privileged to have been able to go to all these fun shows this year, and hoping to many more in 2024. Hoping to many more albums in 2024. Hello, Gaga. Are you listening? Please. I'm wearing my House Labs concealer right now. I'm doing everything. Please, please, please. Hoping for some Gaga music someday. Who else is releasing? I don't even know. Oh, Dua Lipa. Definitely Dua Lipa for 2024 album. I'm excited for that for sure. I'm ready to embrace my Dua Lipa stan status. And I will be streaming. I love it. Let y'all have your moment. Yeah. What? Yeah. I'm like, I wish I could talk to y'all. About all the music. And this year was iconic, if you think about it. Lots of great albums. I mean, Reputation, Taylor's version, that I'm low-key excited. That's one show I didn't mention, but for the Taylor re-release albums, me and Pam and Sam went to drag nights, where a drag queen cast rotates through performing the entire album, and we did that for, I always want to say Fearless, but Speak Now, the purple one, and 1989. So we went twice for Taylor album parties, basically, or Taylor drag album party, whatever, Taylor's version, whatever's. So I think the Reputation drag night is gonna be epic. We gotta go to that one. I'm sure it'll come out sooner than later. I feel like she's already teasing it, right? And hinting, or all the fans just projecting. I don't know. Penguin says, I feel like my Spotify Wrap was a lot of smaller artists that dropped albums this year. Hozier's new album was a good one. Yeah, I forget to mention, like, a lot of big albums this year that, like, somehow didn't make it to, like, top stuff, but definitely Guts by Olivia Rodrigo made a lot of buzz. Hozier made a lot of buzz this year, for sure. I'm less in touch with a lot of, like, the men or the rock side of things, but I definitely heard of him. Is it the one with the dirt? It's like the album, it has, like, dirt. Yeah, he had a big year. And then Doja Cat released too. And for Guts, I didn't vibe with it too much. I think I was just not in an angsty mood. It's no fault of hers. But I really liked one song, and that was Getting Back. That's kind of a bop. And then for Doja Cat's new album, Scarlet, is that what it's called? Same thing. I didn't vibe with the album, but I liked one song, and that was Agora Hills. And I like those. Those are kind of other honorable mentions, but it was just like one song. But those were big kind of, buzzy albums. Noah K. How do you say his name? Noah Kahan was my man sneak in my top 100. I've heard his name a lot. I couldn't tell you anything about him, but like maybe in that indie pop circle, he's getting big. Oh yeah, not super into Noah, but I've heard so many people. Yeah, I've heard of him a lot. Um, oh, another one, Renee Rapp had a big year. I need to listen to her album because I think there's one boppy song that I would like on it. I just kind of missed it a little bit, but I like her from again TV. And even though she left us, she left the TV world. She left the show. I'm excited to see her in Mean Girls. Mean Girls gonna be a fun. I mean, the music I've heard isn't very good. I'm not much of a musical theater person, but not the best music. But I love Renee Rapp and I love Mean Girls, so I will be seated for the movie musical. Yeah, I mean, I think those are the big albums I can think of, aside from like the boys. Like I think Bad Bunny released an album. Drake probably released an album. Oh my God, how about what's it called? I'm a Freak, yeah. The Idol Girl. That was a song this year. The Billie Eilish Barbie song. I bet that's gonna win all the awards. Um, at the Oscars and stuff and the Grammys because they love Billie Eilish. Did she release an album this year? I don't think so, right? Pretty Girls. Is that the Renee song I would like? I feel like I've heard snippets of one song that's boppy. It's probably that one. Because she's a little more like ballady too. Barbie soundtrack. I have it. Is it right here? Barbie soundtrack. That's the good stuff there. I was living because this had so many people I love. Carol G is there. Nicki Minaj with the Barbie. The Barbie World song was huge too. The Charlie song, the Billie Eilish song, Pink Panther. Pink Panther had a big year. This is a good cheat sheet for who was big this year. Gail was big, I guess. I don't know much of her stuff. Haim, Dominic Fike, the guy from Euphoria. Lizzo is on there. Lizzo had kind of a year. Not much in music, but we'll see how that kind of plays out. I'm definitely curious how that's gonna go. But I mean, I liked her Barbie track. I feel like she's gonna need a very like coordinated comeback in her next project. But I don't know. I feel like that's for like the legal system to figure out on that one. Those were the big albums. I mean, the big albums. I'm very in my niche, so the albums I talked about were not albums talked about that much. Let me do one last look at my full thing. Oh, no. Don't start playing copyrighted music, please. Top songs. The Tetris movie had a really good pop rendition of the Tetris theme song. If anyone's interested, I listened to that one a lot. It's called Hold On Tight, and it's by aespa, however you say it. I think they're a K-pop group. BB Rexa had a couple songs I liked. I'm Blue, I'm Good, Dabba whatever it was. That one was, I had to like it. Well, I liked the original, so I ended up streaming the BB Rexa version. Sue me. I really have no variety in my... It's all the same artists I've talked about in my whole thing. That's everybody. I mean, Reina Sawayama, she was big for me like last year with her album. So she's kind of at the bottom of my top 100, and we saw her live late last year. Oh, I think Ice Spice deserves a shout out too. It's true. She had a huge year. Best New Artist, Nom. She won, I think maybe at the VMAs, Best New Artist, whatever that category is for that. And she's nominated for the Grammys, because those haven't happened yet. Is she... Grammy noms are out, right? Shit, I don't know. Maybe it's something else. I get all tripped up with all the awards. Who's gonna win all the awards? Bad Bunny? Who? It's always random people. Like, Grammys is one of my least favorite of the award shows, because, I mean, I think just my taste is very niche and not there. No, yeah, I think Padam Padam got nominated. That's the only thing I remember in the dance category, so I'm rooting for that. Rooting for Ice Spice, Best New Artist. I mean, I think she'll get it. Yeah, that's 2023. It's fun to reflect. I think I'm gonna do another stream like about the pop culture of 2023, kind of the big moments, like the fun moments, not the sad ones. But that'd be fun. It's kind of a lot of work for me to prepare, but if I schedule it for a couple weeks from now, I'll have a little time to prepare that. But that'd be kind of fun to talk about, just like, because I'd be forgetting like stuff that happened in January, and I'm like, what? That was this year? Like, I thought whatever. So let's do that one of the streams. I'll put out a stream schedule later this week, and I'll be here Friday, probably gaming something. But yeah, thanks so much for being here, chatting with me, and or watching in the future if that's more your vibe. You can follow me to stay updated on future live streams and future videos. I put out a new video today about Vanderpump Rules, and I'll probably have another one about Addison Bray. Please forgive me for that one. But yeah, I don't know, I'm just killing time till the next Love is Blind season comes out. I did hear, oh my god, not making this Love is Blind news. Well, there's a Love is Blind baby coming, obviously. Blizz and Zach are pregnant. Vanessa in shambles. No. That's cool, good for them. And I did hear Love is Blind Mexico is filming right now, which got me excited because I don't cover a lot of the international ones, especially now that they're gonna start really picking up, like doing every country. But Mexico, I would do Mexico, and I'll do UK probably too, which UK is also coming. So I'm just waiting for that, waiting for House of Villains to finish. It's never gonna finish, I don't think. That's kind of the status of the channel. But you can find me here Mondays and Fridays at 8 p.m. Central. I'll be here in December, and I hope you'll have a good rest of your week. I will see you on Friday. And yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for talking about music with me. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.